Into their preseason tour of the U.S. with a 4-1 thrashing of the MLS's New England Revolution on Wednesday. Michael Owen started the ball rolling for the Red Devils in the second half before Italian striker Federico Marcheda netted a brace of goals. Park Ji-sung wrapped up the scoring with the classy give-and-go with Ryan Giggs in the box. There were strikes from Owen and Macheda and a slow opening half from starting strikers Wayne Rooney and Dimitar Berbatov. Goal scorer Mexican Javier Chicharito Hernandez has yet to join the team for the tour, and manager Alex Ferguson faces another tough choice up front this season. Before the match, United fans flooded the parking lot of Gillette Stadium hours before kickoff for a match that was never for them in doubt. Turkey plans to bid to host the 2020 Summer Olympic Games. Turkish sports officials say the city of Istanbul would be the ideal place to stage the world's greatest sporting event. Turkey's Youth and Sports Minister Suat Kılıç said Wednesday Turkey is set to meet all the requirements for hosting the Games. Istanbul mounted 4 consecutive failed bids for the 2000, 2004, 2008, and 2012 Olympics. Istanbul is running against Madrid, Rome, and Tokyo. The International Olympic Committee will select the 2020 Olympic host city in 2013. The John Deere Classic wrapped up this week with Steve Stricker winning the title for the 3rd time in a row. Stricker birdied the 18th hole to win in dramatic fashion. American Steve Stricker drained a 30-foot birdie putt on the final hole Sunday to win the John Deere Classic with a 4-round total of 22 under par. Stricker also rolled in a 20-foot birdie putt at the 17th to win the tournament for the 3rd year in a row. He finished 1 shot clear of his compatriot Kyle Stanley, who made a bogey at the final hole to miss out on a playoff. Stanley, playing in the group ahead of overnight leader Stricker, led by 2 strokes with 2 holes to play, but could only manage a par at the par 5 17th. He then bogeyed the last with a 10-foot putt that lipped out. Stricker, the world number 5, had lost his lead with bogeys at the 15th and 16th, but recovered in spectacular fashion to win the title for the 3rd year running. The 44-year-old hit his drive on the 18th into a fairway bunker, but still found the back fringe of the green with his approach before sinking the long birdie putt. It gave him his 11th PGA Tour win and his 2nd of this year, following his triumph in the Memorial last month. Argentinian midfielder Ricardo Alvarez says his new team Inter Milan are one of the strongest in the world, and that's why he chose the Italian club over English giants Arsenal. Argentinian midfielder Ricardo Alvarez was officially presented at Inter Milan on Tuesday following a €12 million transfer. Speaking shortly after presenting his new team shirt, Alvarez confirmed that English side Arsenal had also been interested in him. Alvarez said he, quote, chose Inter because they are the strongest team in the world. 23-year-old Alvarez said playing for the Italian side was a dream come true, but that he would want that dream to include winning something this season. It's not clear which position Alvarez will play in the team, but the Argentinian said he hoped it would be his usual midfield position. Alvarez just had time to sign a few autographs for fans before commencing training with his new team. New AS Roma owner Thomas Di Benedetto says his goal is to make his club the best possible football team ever. And new coach Luis Enrique says he wants the squad to play in an attacking yet entertaining fashion.
New AS Roma owner Thomas R. Di Benedetto said on Thursday his goal is to make it the best football team AS Roma can be.
We will do everything in our powers to do that. And we will try to increase the revenues coming to the team, which will give us the resources to hire the best players.
Di Benedetto last April led a consortium of US businessmen to close a deal to buy control of AS Roma. The consortium, which bought a 67% stake, is 60% owned by Di Benedetto and 40% owned by Italian bank Unicredit. It purchased the stake from Intrapetroli, which controlled Roma. Di Benedetto has been a partner of New England Sports Ventures, which owns the Boston Red Sox Major League Baseball team and English Premier League side Liverpool. The Giallorossi ended last Series A season 6th, 3 points behind Lazio and Udinese, having been runners-up the previous season. They were managed by former player Vincenzo Montella, following coach Claudio Ranieri's resignation in February. New coach Luis Enrique, who plays for Real Madrid and Barcelona, has previously worked as coach at Barcelona's B team. There he took Pep Guardiola's role in 2008, when the actual Blaugrana's coach moved to train the main team. With the takeover by Di Benedetto, AS Roma has become the only Series A side with foreign ownership. Foreign investors had previously snubbed Series A and instead were drawn to the more lucrative English Premier League, where top stadiums are often full and merchandise sales significantly boost profits, unlike in Italy. Liverpool, Manchester United, Aston Villa and Sunderland are all owned by Americans.
Tourists heading to Egypt usually go to see the pyramids, Luxor, and the Red Sea. But now major activity centers are springing up in the vast deserts that engulf the country, which provide hot sports like sandboarding.
Egypt's vast deserts cover 93% of the country's land surface. So perhaps it's no surprise that entrepreneurs are turning to the sands in a bid to attract more tourists to the country. Dune Raiders Egypt first launched on Facebook in early 2009. It now has 3,000 members and is fast becoming the leading sandboarding organization in the country. What started off as taking small groups to different parts of the desert to practice sandboarding has expanded into full tours and international competitions. It's a success that is bringing sighs of relief from tour operators that suffered big losses following the anti-Mubarak uprisings in the country in January this year. At this isolated dune area called Catania, around 100 kilometers west of Cairo, people from all over the world are taking to the sands, some for the first time.
Sandboarding is a really amazing experience. I didn't know about it except last week from a group of my friends, and I came today to join them, and it's really amazing experience. You know, the sand, the sun, and the weather, it's amazing. And there are lots of people from a lot of countries, Lebanon, Spain, England.
Skill levels vary, but the startup kit needed for sandboarding is minimal. A board, the energy to walk up the dune, and a fair amount of fearlessness. And if sliding down the dunes proves too hairy, tourists can also try their hand at flying. RC Group Egypt builds and operates radio-controlled cars and planes. The group has teamed up with Dune Raiders Egypt to put on an air show for the sandboarding group.
Today we are coming here in coordination with Dune Raiders and Sandboarding Egypt. So RC Club Egypt and Dune Raiders Sandboarding Egypt made this event together. We are playing with our hobbies, we're doing the show, and we are enjoying the desert. So come to Egypt, come to join us with this hobby.
Traditional sports such as volleyball are also available. Trips from Cairo cost between 200 to 250 Egyptian pounds. That's 35 to 40 US dollars. And include a barbecue lunch and refreshments.
The ESPY Awards were handed out this week. Dirk Nowitzki picked up 2 trophies and his team, the Dallas Mavericks, were chosen as Best Team. Nowitzki also picked up the trophy for Best Male Athlete during ESPN's live telecast from the Nokia Theater.
I won the MVP and I won the Disney World.
The Dallas Mavericks and their star player Dirk Nowitzki took home top ESPY Award honors on Wednesday night, capping off a year that saw them become improbable champions. The Mavericks won the National Basketball Association championship over a Miami Heat team filled with superstars, including LeBron James and Dwayne Wade. On Wednesday, they claimed the ESPY for Best Team, and Nowitzki was named Best Male Athlete. He's the first NBA player to be named Top Male Athlete since Michael Jordan in 1993. Saturday Night Live comedian Seth Meyers hosted the show for a second straight year. He opened the telecast by joking about the NFL and NBA lockouts before taking some digs at the Miami Heat. Nowitzki thanked his teams for the success during his acceptance speech.
I want to thank our coaches. Obviously, our teammates have been unbelievable. I think when I was down all season long, they picked me up.
Olympic gold medalist Lindsey Vonn won Female Athlete of the Year for the second year in a row.
This means so much.
She's the first female to win the honor consecutive times since Annika Sorenstam in 2005 and 2006. Vonn won in a group that included Maya Moore, Lauren Jackson, and Kelly Clark. The ESPYs are given to athletes by All Sports Cable TV network ESPN. Winners are chosen by fan voting. Other awards included Best Breakthrough Athlete, which went to pro basketball player Blake Griffin of the Los Angeles Clippers, and the Best Championship Performance for Tim Thomas, the goalie for pro hockey's Stanley Cup winner, the Boston Bruins. Thomas was also named Best National Hockey League Player. U.S. women's soccer team player Abby Wambach was given an award for best play with her recent goal in the Women's World Cup. And Green Bay Packers quarterback Aaron Rodgers was named Best National Football League player. And it's time for our technology portion now. In the U.S., researchers have developed a new technology that they say will make air travel safer. The scientists are making microscopic nanotubes that can detect and repair fuselage cracks as they occur.
It begins in a test tube heated to 1,000 degrees inside a furnace. The heat converts graphene into billions of carbon nanotubes, producing the basis of a technology that aerospace engineers say could save lives. Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute's Mikhail Karatkar says the nanotube material can detect and repair cracks in aircraft as they occur. He says that adding even a small amount of the carbon fillers to composite airplane wings, like those on the much heralded Boeing 787, would extend their lifespans, making them stronger and safer.
Now, what the nanofillers do is that when these microcracks are forming right in the initial stages of formation, the presence of the nanofiller causes the cracks to grow much slower. The cracks tend to deflect and deform around these nanofillers, which makes them grow at a much slower speed.
While aluminum is heavy and the damage is easily identifiable, cracks in reinforced composite material are much harder to find because they usually occur inside the wing. They can only be pinpointed by using an ultrasound. Take this Southwest Airlines flight, recently forced to make an emergency landing at a military base in Arizona. Investigators found there was widespread cracking on the skin, which caused a 5-foot-long tear in the cabin. Karatkar says this is exactly the kind of wear that nanofillers can target and prevent. The carbon nanotubes are microscopic. Billions of them are randomly dispersed in an epoxy resin, which can then be molded into different structures. The structures can also conduct electricity, which engineers can use to locate damage caused by cracks.
So essentially what we do is we flow charge in the structure, and because the glass fibers are insulating, the charge flows through the carbon nanotubes. So anytime there's a crack, the way the charge flows changes, and from that we can back out the extent of the damage.
Once the cracks are detected, engineers can apply heat to the affected area to fuse the fracture. The repaired surfaces are about 70% as strong as they were, but still strong enough to prevent a structural failure. Mikhail Karatkar says scientific breakthroughs at the molecular level could someday lead to much safer smart planes, but there is still a long way to go before carbon nanofillers hit the market.
The main limitation right now is how do we disperse them? They tend to agglomerate over time, and they're also expensive. So these are the two main challenges: bringing the cost down and thinking of ways in which we are able to disperse them effectively inside the structure.
But that isn't stopping the Rensselaer team. They have high hopes that in time, carbon nanotubes will be the preferred crack prevention and detection tool, making airplanes a safer mode of transportation.
An Israeli researcher has developed a way to detect malaria with a cell phone. When commercially developed, experts say the simple and non-invasive technology could produce life-saving results in the fight against Africa's most lethal disease.
It takes nearly 1 million lives a year, and half the world's population is at risk of infection. Malaria is spread by mosquitoes and is one of Africa's most lethal diseases. Now researchers have found a new way to detect the parasitic disease using a cell phone. At Israel's Ben Gurion University, Alberto Belenka's new system allows cases to be diagnosed quickly and easily.
Basically, you have to hold the cell phone and image the tissue you would like to test, and by looking at the blood flow and at the malaria pigment images, hopefully you will be able to diagnose and monitor the severity of this terrible disease.
Tropical diseases expert Alan